I'm glad I my better head.
Yeah. The light will come on. Speak. And shut it off. Yep.
when Ben was in the skate.
All right, I'd like to call the Town of Warwick meeting for January 15th, 2025 to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our first order of business tonight is a little housekeeping with the planning board. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. Haven't seen most of you for the new year, so happy new year. Second of all, I'd like to appoint Roger Showalter as the vice chairman. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ben.
Support, thank you. Also, just a heads up for the board members and its professionals, we are in the winter season, so if there is an inkling or some bad weather coming, Connie, our secretary, will notify everyone by 4 p.m. that the meeting will be canceled. We'll notify the applicants and all at that time. Just a heads up for everybody.
It's not reasonable.
All right, so with that being said, that took care of that. We have two public hearings tonight. The first public hearing, 138 Pine Island Turnpike LLC, application of 138 Pine Island Turnpike LLC for the application for a site plan review and special use permit for the construction and use of a new 1,200 square foot guest house with a 1,200 square foot attached garage and a 300 square feet of storage space situated on tax parcel, section 29, block 1, lot 74, parcel located on the northern side of Pine Island Turnpike, 138 Pine Island Turnpike, in the RU zone of the town of Warwick, county of Warwick, state of New York. Representing the applicant.
David Mocco, the architectural firm for Rush.
David, do you have a copy of the comments?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I received the certified mailings for the public hearing.
Thank you. Comment number 1, planning board to discuss seeker.
This is an unlisted action. The applicant has provided a draft Part 3, which we reviewed and made minor revisions. We recommend that the board adopt the Part 2, which I don't believe they have done yet, as well as the Part 3 and negative declaration, which we provided a resolution for, as they're not likely to have any adverse significant impacts.
Thank you. So you need a motion from the board to adopt the Part 2 and Part 3 EAF. To the neg deck. Is that in the neg deck, Danielle?
It should be, yes. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Comment number 2, applicant to discuss project.
Sure. Well, as the board knows, we've been working with you for the last 6 months. This is an accessory structure to the existing property. The property is 15.98 acres. It has a residence. Your zoning code allows an accessory structure. This accessory structure would be a guest house that's 1,200 square feet, along with a 1,200 square foot attached garage and 300 square feet of storage space. We've gone through the process of review with the consultants. They've confirmed that we're able to do this. We proved that the lot could be subdivided into 3 lots per your zoning code. That's not the case. That's not what we're proposing. We did prove that the land could be subdivided into 2 lots, which is a requirement to have a guest house. So the guest house, those lots conform to the configurations of the zoning code. They conform to the area that's needed and the setback requirements using the private road as the front yard for the setbacks. We proved that the private road can be constructed on the site to access all 3 lots, including the one that we're proposing. The guest house would be on the lower end of the project, would be quote-unquote lot 1, even though the project won't be subdivided. It'll be serviced by a well and septic, which was witnessed by the engineering firm. We do have PERC. We did design a septic, which allows for the guest house. We located that and the well according to the DEC requirements, so they're not conflicting with anything around it. And we've also made application and successfully received approval from Orange County DPW. They asked for a few modifications along the road, including reconstructing or replacing the existing culvert, paving the first 25 feet of the right-of-way, and adding a sign. In addition to that, modifying the existing guide rail.
Thank you. Also, just to clarify, This is not an accessory structure, it's an as-right special use permit. So it's not, in our zoning code, it's not accessory. Okay, everybody on the board understands that, correct? Comment number 3, Conservation Board, no comments. Number 4, A or B, no comments. 5, Orange County Planning Department, 8/16/24, advisory comments. Orange County DPW required endangered species protection with tree harvesting and any easement and maintenance agreements we went through that embedded them. 6, Town of Warwick Building Department, 8/21/24, no violations. 7, Orange County DPW, 1/7/24, approval letter received, that's in our file. 8, the design professional information should be included on each sheet that will be signed and sealed by that professional.
Yes, yes.
9, 9/11 addresses must be obtained from, clarified with the building department, and then shown on the plan. 10, applicant to modify the grade of the driveway to not exceed 10% or add a note to the plan stating that the driveway will be paved in its entirety.
We demonstrated that the driveway of the private road will be under 10%, and as discussed, we will add a note stating that it cannot exceed 10%.
11, provided map notes saying that no construction proposed use shall begin until the maps are signed by the planning board chairman and building department permits are obtained. Sheet C1, note 3.
Yes.
12, surveyor to certify that iron rods have been set at all property corners.
Yes.
14, the declaration information for the ridgeline and agricultural nodes must be added to the plan.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. The surveyor must sign and seal the plan because meets and bounds are included on the drawings.
Yes.
And 15, payment of all fees.
Yes.
Any board members have any comments, concerns at this point? I know we did a site visit out there. As I said, this is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to address the planning board at 138 Pine Island Turnpike, please rise, come forward, state your name for the record. Come on up, please. So I just want to get you on the record.
Your name, please? Peter, can you spell me your last name, please?
K-R-A-S-I-N-S-K-I.
Thank you.
Yep. So I'm 15 Distillery. I basically just had a statement I wanted to say for the board and for the representation of Mr. Napolitano. My wife and I have both been Warwick residents for over 30 years. We went to middle school and high school here. We spent our adult lives here. You know, we did not come from money. We rented an 800 square foot apartment for 8 years. We finally saved up enough money to purchase our first home at the end of the summer of 2024. We looked at multiple towns, chose to stay in Warwick for the privacy, space, and because we loved our hometown. We closed in mid-October, and as proof of our values, we purchased a modest 1,100 square foot home on 7.5 acres with no structures near it, 15 Distillery Road. So far, it's been an hour in our dog's dream. However, with the recent realization that a 2,500 square foot plus structure will be built 76.1 feet from our house has been a very tough pill to swallow. This home was our life savings, costing us $563,000 for an 1,100 square foot home. Obviously, we were willing to spend up to live in the town where we wanted to live and where we believed in the zoning and code, and where we had the privacy we felt we could get. Based on what we heard today, I understand that the building Mr. Napolitano is looking to build meets the code zoning offset, even though it's by just 1 foot, 1.1 feet. But I would like to request there be an adjustment to the plans to allow more space between our structures. There's nothing on the far side of the theoretical lot 1 that he would be building close to. I'm concerned about our home's value, as in my opinion, the reason we purchased it, the most valuable asset is its privacy. I've never met Mr. Napolitano, but I would like to have a neighborly relationship with him. I hope we can find a middle ground that can help us feel more comfortable and respect our privacy and space, while also meeting his needs for his desires, what he wants to do with his land. I understand Mr. Napolitano has had some less than pleasant interactions with the former homeowners of 15 Distillery Road, but that's not the relationship I am trying to establish. If the project is to come to fruition, as I know many people do oppose it, I request that the structure be moved further away from Lot 1 and our home. And I just ask that, as representation of Mr. Napolitano, we can get that message, because I have no way to contact him or anything like that. So if he could get what we put on the record. And the other couple things, I just have a couple of questions. Do we know how tall the building is going to be that he plans on building?
Meets the ridgeline overlay spec, so it's under 30 feet.
Under 30? Okay. Under 25?
So, yeah, 20, you're not asking for a
Is it
waiver.
25?
25.
2025? Okay. And I know it's been very clear that Mr. Paul's intention is not to use it as any kind of long-term or short-term rental space. However, what are the repercussions if it is found that he is using it for that kind of use?
That's a violation of the site plan. There's a note on the site plan.
Okay. So another thing is we currently have water pooling, which I have some photo evidence of from grading done by Mr. Napolitano's crews. One is, can this be rectified? And two is, how can we ensure it won't get worse?
They can't direct any homeowner or builder cannot direct water onto your property, because if you know for a fact that water has been directed onto your property, it's a civil matter.
Okay.
But you can always, have take action against that. And in this case, anything that's done here, the grading is not going to hold you.
Okay. Mr. Napolitano's had a dumpster stationed on his 16-acre property, which could be placed anywhere, 1 foot from our property line and about 20 feet from our house. It gets picked up by loud trucks around 5 a.m. at random. Is there any reason that it's placed this close to our house would be my question, and if it can be moved?
I guess, David, that's a question that you probably can't answer this evening.
Right.
But again, that can be to the building, that can be a complaint to the building department. We'll make note of it.
Okay.
But if, I don't know what he has it there for. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know what
Okay.
he's using it for. If it's gonna be a garbage pickup weekly, it probably should be screened or it should be moved.
Okay, so basically I just wanted to make my statement known that,
Sure.
I basically came to move here, bought our first home, all of our money's tied into it for privacy, space, and all these things. I feel like within 3 months, that's all getting flipped around.
Well, I will say this, as we spoke earlier today, I mean, this board did do a site visit out there, and the landscape, there isn't a ton of landscape that this applicant put out there already.
Okay.
As far as the setbacks, he's meeting the requirements of
Yep.
the setback. I mean, he's meeting the intent of the code.
No, I understand, that's why my
yeah.
statement was more for a neighborly thing than an actual not meeting the code kind of a thing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, David, G-U-T-H-A-I-M, as in Mary. Resident of 17 Distillery for 8 years and 1 month, love it there, bought the house, we're adjacent to Mr. Krasinski and perpendicular to Mr. Napolitano. Bought it mainly for the privacy and for the view, which is a dead west, perfect sunset. I don't think maybe we're better than Pennings as far as the sunset's concerned. It's fantastic. People keep talking about how additional accessory structures may increase the market value, the property value. That's not the only reason why people move up here. Want to take a good deep breath, want to be able to look west and feel peace of mind. I am thankful and appreciative that the original plans, which aren't part of this discussion, were amended. It's no longer a 35-foot structure, dead center of the property, huge. Would really impede a lot of people's privacy and view. So I do thank you guys for your consideration of that.
Let me just correct you. We're not the board that looked at that.
Okay.
That was
This
the
is
zoning
planning
board.
board?
This is the planning board. That was a zoning board of appeals. And just another point on this application. This application couldn't proceed before us with any waivers or variances.
Okay.
So this is a guest house special use permit,
Okay.
which is allowed by right, but like I just said, it can't have any variances, can't have any waivers. So they have to make sure that it fits to the property. So, as David pointed out in his opening remarks, they had to prove they could subdivide.
Okay.
He mentioned 2 lots, they showed us 3 lots on that property if they wanted to subdivide that piece of property by right. And they proved they can do it. So in this case, they're following the guest house special use permit, which they can do. So they are
Okay.
meeting the intent of the code.
So if this body doesn't approve that, there's no reason then, from what I'm understanding, to go to the ZBA.
Absolutely not. This would not be approved if they had to go, we wouldn't be talking right
To the
now.
waiver, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, with that in mind, I just wanted to reiterate what Mr. Krasinski said, that, the whole short-term rental, long-term rental.
And as I
that
pointed out, there is a
I
note
appreciate that.
that we put on the plan that no short-term rentals. I believe it's, we can find a number, but it's on the plan.
Okay.
Right?
All right,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
that. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the board? Let the record indicate there's no further public comment. Do you have a deck, so we can make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion on
I'd like to make a motion of a negative declaration and authorizing filing of the same. The name of the action is 138 Pine Island Turnpike, whereas the Town of Warwick Planning Board is the seeker lead agency for conducting the environmental review of a proposed accessory guest house and garage totaling 5,000 square feet of building area. The project is identified on the Town of Warwick tax map as Section 29, Lot 1, Block 74, and is located at 138 Pine Island Turnpike in the Town of Warwick, County of Orange, State of New York. And whereas the Planning Board on or around September 18th, 2024, classified the action as an unlisted action and declared itself lead agency for the purpose of commencing uncoordinated review of the action. And whereas the Planning Board received a draft Part 2 environmental assessment form prepared by its planner on September 28, 2024, identifying the following areas of potential large impacts. A, aesthetic resources. Project site is within the Ridgeline Protection Overlay. B, adverse changes to natural resources. Application site is near Wheeler Creek, and the site is suspected to contain the northern long-eared bat. And whereas the Planning Board has reviewed the short EAF Parts 1 and 2 dated July 11th, 2024 and September 18th, 2024 respectively, and whereas the Planning Board is in receipt of and has reviewed the draft Part 3 short EAF prepared by its planner, which provides further consideration of potential large impacts, and now therefore be it resolved that the Planning Board adopts the EAF Parts 2 and 3 as prepared by the planner, which sets forth the Planning Board's review and analysis of various information and testimony received, and provides an assessment of the likely magnitude of impacts, the geographic scope of impacts, the duration of impacts, the probability of impacts occurring, the number of people affected by potential project impacts, and other relevant considerations of environmental consequences that are likely to occur as a result of this action. Be it further resolved that based upon the AF and other relevant project submissions, the Planning Board hereby adopts a negative declaration of environmental significance, indicating that significant adverse environmental impacts are unlikely and that an environmental impact statement shall not be required. And be it further resolved excuse me, that the Planning Board authorizes the chairman to take such further steps as might be necessary to discharge the lead agency's responsibilities on this action, including filing of the negative declaration with other involved agencies and publishing notice in the Environmental Notice Bulletin.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. David, just a question, before we act on this. I know the setbacks. Is there any way to shift that anymore, or you would be looking into a variance at that point? I know, I thought you were very tight on where the location was.
We're tight because of front yard setback determined by the park.
Yeah, I thought so. But if you can, I don't know if you can at all, but if you can, I think it'd be nice if we could shift a little. But you are in the Ridgeline overlay also, so you only, before this gets approved, if that happens, if you can shift it, you have 20 feet to move it. But if you can, I don't think you even have it. But just so for the record, if you can move it over some, that would not be a bad thing. Okay, that's fine. That's what, you meet the intent of the code. I'm just, okay. Yes.
Possible for some mitigating plantings
Well,
for privacy is the one thing I heard from both.
Absolutely, but if I remember correctly, there was numerous plantings there and a ton of bamboo.
I wasn't at the.
Yeah, we were out there, and there was a lot. They did a lot of plantings for the ZBA at that point. But one second. All right, the public hearing is still open, so come on up if you want to say something. No, you don't have to say sorry. The public hearing's still open, come on up. Oh. All right, then send your husband.
Ben, I'd like to make a comment for the applicant's professional to please make sure that the neighbors' concerns as far as the water on the property, whatever, are addressed. Maybe
Bring
you
that,
guys
bring
can
that back
come-
to your client.
Yeah, it's
That's
very,
all you-
very important. You can't have water.
Pete, come on up.
Just for record, this swell away from the property. This design does not allow any stormwater to impact the neighboring lot. What's currently done, I'm not sure, but this design is not allowed.
Yeah, just take a look and make sure that it's
So if
repaired.
there's-
It's not
so
right for these people.
Please pass it along, because it sounds like it could be an issue, or it is an issue, that can be, Pete, to the board, please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have, like a picture I can show of where the pooling happens from the grade coming from his property
Okay.
of whatever the landscaping he put in to block the view. Now, I know you brought up the bamboo as part of the blockage of the view of the structure. That bamboo was not put in by myself. I don't know if it was put in by Mr. Napolitano or.
There was a lot of it there, that's what I saw.
So there's a ton of bamboo, and that's actually something we were actually gonna look into potentially removing.
Okay.
Because it's so rapid growing, and also its root systems are extremely deep.
Oh, they're horrible.
So, it's, as you can see from the plans, that bamboo is right next to our.
Well,
septic.
let's do this, David. We're gonna add a note to the plan to add landscaping along that side to the town planner specifications. That way there, we'll take a look at it. Well, if we need to, Danielle, Laura, whatever, we'll run out there, take another visual of it. We could add it to the plans, that'll give you more privacy. All right?
Worried about the bamboo.
We'll have, we're gonna add a note to our comments, that'll be read into the record, and that'll be something before the maps are signed. All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, let the record indicate there's no further public comment. Someone can make a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. So we have to add a note 16 to the comments. Someone care to make a motion for approval with comments? Bob, I think it would be 8 through 16 as revised.
What's 16 gonna say?
Add landscaping to town planner and specifications. That's right, Bob?
That's correct.
Thank you. Someone care to make a motion on that?
I got you. Oh, good work. In accordance with our decision tonight, the plans will include 8, oh, I'm sorry, up here, okay, I'm with you. Application of 138 Pine Island Turnpike LLC for the application for site plan approval and special use permit for the construction and use of a new 1,200 square foot guest house with 1,200 square foot attached garage and 300 square feet with storage space, situated on tax parcel S29B1L74, parcel located on the northern side of Pine Island Turnpike, in parentheses, 138 Pine Island Turnpike, in the RU zone of the town of Warwick, County of Orange, State of New York. And the comments, of course, would be from 8 through 16 as revised.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Have a good evening. All right, moving along to our second public hearing. Frederick and Susan Fisher, application for site plan approval for the use and construction of a 4-bedroom, single-family dwelling situated on tax parcel Section 33, Block 1, Lot 4.23, project located on the northern side of Demorest Road, 800 plus or minus feet west of Four Corners Road, 16 Demorest Road, in the RU zone of the town of Warwick, County of Orange, State of New York. Representing the applicant. Brian, you have a copy of the comments?
We received the certified mailings from the public.
Thank you. Comment number 1, planning board to discuss seeker.
This is a type 2 action, no further seeker is required.
Thank you. Comment 2, applicant to discuss project.
So this is a vacant lot. The applicant is proposed to construct a single-family dwelling. We're before you because there was subdivision maps from the 1970s
Thank you. And also going back to seeker, can we have a motion that this is a type 2 action, please, for the Fisher application? Is there a second? All those in favor?
I'll second that, Ben.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Hey, Bo, just hit that mic. 3, Conservation Board, no comments received. 4, ARB, no comments received. 5, Orange County Planning Department, 12/5/24, advisory comments, locations of test pits and percolation tests. 4, proposed septic system on site plan. We vetted that and done that. Number 6, Town of Warwick Building Department, 12/5/24, no violations. 7, provide a map note saying that no construction or proposed use shall begin until the maps are signed by the Planning Board Chairman and Building Department permits are obtained, sheet 1. 8, the surveyor must sign and seal the plan. 9, surveyor to certify that iron rods have been set at all property corners.
The access one to be waived.
On the new lot?
So,
It's an existing one.
yeah, it's an existing lot, there's a lot of different, property lines for the pond back there.
Okay.
I think a lot of that area is actually in the pond. But if possible,
Board have any concerns about waiving, setting up the iron pins?
What was the reason? Because it's been there a long time?
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a
Pre-existing.
pond, that's its own separate lot.
I'm sorry, a little bit slow.
So there's a pond back there that's on its own separate lot, and that pond has a ton of different turns and stuff, and I think it would be very, very difficult to put iron rods back
The
there.
pond forms part of the property line?
Yeah, the pond is its own property. It's owned by the applicant, but it's its own property. Separate tax lot? Yeah, it's a separate tax lot.
So, but this new lot that we're creating,
It's not getting created.
it's not,
already-
it's already, so it's existing, so the line, so you say the lines haven't changed?
I don't see what.
Okay, so that sort of makes sense.
It's existing, but it wasn't approved for construction.
Action, but now all we're doing is approving it for
Well, at
construction.
the time, what if it had been approved for construction, would they have required iron pins being set?
Which they probably were. I would assume it was.
So,
Well, I assume
I
they,
don't see why we shouldn't follow that which was started.
well, I think what he's saying is iron pins were set on this lot. We're not changing the
Is that
lot.
what you're saying, Brian, that iron pins?
Pins they were, at one point they had to.
Oh, I'm sure
Or
they
you don't
are,
know?
but for him to go out there and certify that they're out there, I think could be.
I would assume they were set, though why wouldn't they be set?
I don't know, let's see if any of the neighbors are gonna ask about where is that property line?
Okay, well, think about it and we'll make that determination. And then, the declaration information for the ridgeline and agricultural protection overlays must be added to the plans. And 11, payment of all fees.
Yes.
Any board members have any more comments, concerns at this point? No? As I said, this is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to address the board on the Frederick and Susan Fisher application, please rise, come forward, state your name for the record. Let the record indicate there is no public comment. I think that answered that question.
I think it does.
Okay, so
Oh, did I need to turn my microphone on?
you should have, but you speak pretty loud anyhow, Donna, so it's all good. So can we have a waiver from setting of the, certifying setting of the iron rods?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. A motion on approval, please.
A motion for site plan approval for the use and construction of four-bedroom, single-family dwelling situated on tax parcel section 33, block 1, lot 4.23. Project located on the northern side of Demarest Road, 800 plus or minus feet west of Four Corners Road, 16 Demarest Road, in the RU zone of the town of Warwick, county of Orange, state of New York, with comments
This is 6 through 11 as revised.
6 through 11 as revised.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have a comment for our professionals. Sure. I would just like to say thank you and congratulate them. Tonight, I find my papers in the best order in the history of my tenure on this board, so.
Wow, look at that.
Who?
Can you congratulate your secretary?
Well, if my secretary has to do with this, Everything is in order, and it's amazing. Keep up the good work.
All do great work.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Everybody's done patting themselves on the back. Continue with review of submitted maps. Kenneth Brown, Chapter 150, application for recommendation to the Town of Warwick Building Department for Chapter 150 reclamation plan situated on tax parcels, Section 64, Block 1, Lot 48.22. Property located on the eastern side of Brady Road, 100 feet southeast of Black Rock Road, 141 Brady Road, in the CO zone of the Town of Warwick, County of Orange, State of New York. Representing the applicant.
Brian, again, engineer.
Gentlemen have a copy of the comments.
Yes.
Comment number 1, planning board to discuss seeker.
This is an unlisted action under seeker. We prepared a resolution for the board to declare lead agency to commence uncoordinated review. Additionally, we prepared a draft EAF Part 2 in which the board may wish to adopt to address the potential adverse impact to natural resources, as the site contains a delineated wetland and has the potential for northern long-eared bat. The application will also require GML referral, as it is within 500 feet of an ag district. And we have a few minor landscaping comments. The first one is that we recommend that ourselves go out to the site just to survey the current conditions, because it's hard for us to make recommendations based off of, we don't really know exactly what has been done, but just looking at the plans. Additionally, section 164-46H8B requires native plant material. The green giant arborvitae are not native, and we suggest the eastern red cedar as an alternative. We also recommend a lawn seed mix that has a range of native and naturalized grasses other than just perennial ryegrass. And the applicant should avoid planting screens of single species, and therefore we recommend a range of native evergreens, which we can make recommendations based off of what we see off the site. That's all.
Is unlisted and adopt EAF Part 2. Name of action, Kenneth Brown Site Plan. Whereas the Town of Warwick Planning Board is in receipt of an application for site plan for tree cutting and excavation regarding a Chapter 150 violation issued by the Building Department, situated on a 4.9 acre parcel of land located at 141 Brady Road, Town of Warwick, Orange County, New York. And whereas a short environmental assessment form, SEAF, Part 1, was received from the project sponsor dated November 26, 2024. And whereas after examining the EAF, assuming that's the SEAF, the planning board has determined that there may be no involved or interested agencies for the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby classifies the proposed action as an unlisted action and assumes lead agency status for the uncoordinated seeker review of this action. And be it further resolved that the planning board adopts the short EAF Part 2 as recommended by its planner, identifying areas of potential large impact, including impact to wetlands and impacts to northern long-eared bat.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now on to applicant to discuss project.
Then turn your mic on.
Like you said, so we're here to try to remediate some tree removal and excavation that has been done. So we're showing a plan to show planting a lawn is the property lines swinging from the common driveway that we used to have access from. Still on the driveway off of Brady Road. Yeah, we're in front of the remediate the violation.
Comment 3, Conservation Board, no comments. 4, ARB, no comments. Comment number 5, Town of Warwick Building Department, 1325, expired permit for whole house interior renovation and addition. New fence added to perimeter of property between March 23 and March 24. Structure in rear yard has no permit. April 22 to March 23, expired permit for covered porch. So those you're going to have to take care of with the building department. 6, Orange County Planning Department pending comments. 7, applicant to provide location, number of bedrooms, and functionality of existing individual subsurface systems. 8, planning board determined if a site inspection is necessary. We will do a site inspection. We'll get a date out to you as soon as we can. Number 9, please submit documentation of ownership of land, deed to confirm ownership of lot. Applicant to provide documentation of wetlands, culvert siding, etc. 11, Town of Warwick standard map notes must be added to the plans, ridgeline, aquifer, biodiversity, all utilities, underground, and lighting. 12, the total amount of land where the topography has been changed, i.e. disturbed field, must be shown on the plan. 13, proposed driveway should follow all requirements of section 79.3, construction specifications. Applicant should include profile of driveway on plans. 14, proposed driveway should follow requirements of section A 168.19 driveways and include site distances on plans. 15, applicant to clarify if modification of previously shared driveway is complete, how much of driveway shown on plans will remain. 16, a stormwater management plan in compliance with section 164.47.10 of the town code must be included on the plans, intermediate SWIP. 17, applicant to show square footage of existing and proposed dwellings and garage shed on plans. 18, the plan should be clarified about the use of the larger structure listed, labeled dwelling. 19, the entity who flagged the wetlands should be identified on the plans as well as the date that the wetlands are flagged. 20, the agency having jurisdiction over the wetlands should be labeled on the plans. 21, applicant to show distance between wetlands and limits of disturbance on plans. The jurisdiction and any appropriate buffers of the wetland must be shown on the plans. 22, the plan should indicate if the natural drainage of the area has been affected, including if adjacent property owners will be affected. 23, site plan should allow requirements of section 154, uses for which permit is required. 24, applicant should clarify if land disturbance is complete or if additional land disturbance will be disturbed field. This should be shown on the plans in plan view. 25, provide a map note stating that no construction proposed use shall begin until the maps are signed by the planning board chairman and building department permits are obtained. 26, provide anticipated restoration schedule, including site grading, topsoil placement, access restoration, and landscaping installation as appropriate. 27, section 154A5, a performance bond may be required to ensure conformance to all applicable standards and requirements. 28, a landscaping bond will be required for all proposed landscaping. Applicant to submit a cost estimate including installation. 29, the declaration information for the ridgeline, agricultural, and biodiversity protection overlays must be added to the plans. 30, surveyor to certify that iron rods must set at all property corners. 31, surveyor to sign and seal drawing. And 32, payment of all fees. Any board members have any comments, concerns at this point? I just want to add that the Village of Warwick made a call to our secretary today that is near their watershed, so I know the stormwater plan will take care of that, but just an added note to you guys that they were interested in what was going on up here. Okay? So we'll set up a site visit, and we will get back to you with that. Jan, a few things, yeah. Take care of your building permit issues with the building department, and once we get out there, we'll try to get out there as soon as possible. We'll let you know, brother. Yeah, we'll try to.
Okay.
We can set it up now. What dates are available for everybody?
All right, so the next workshop will be February 10th. They start at 7 p.m.
You're pushing time-wise at night. It's dark.
It's actually getting better.
Yeah, like 5 o'clock. So you're looking at a Saturday, I would assume,
Weather-wise.
right? I think we got to do it on a
Monday
Saturday.
seems to be a holiday.
That's not going to work for me.
It's supposed to snow this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think that'll do it. Yeah, I know. What Saturday do we have?
What works for you?
What about this Saturday morning?
Not for me either.
No snow.
It's not gonna
I don't care. Set it up for what you want. I've been by it 100 times, but we just got to get a date out there. Or we could do what I said,
Why
and
don't we
we'll
do
get
it
back to you.
Friday?
How about we get back to you? We'll get an email
We'll
out to
get
everybody and
back.
see what
Yeah,
works.
okay.
How about that?
All right.
Good.
Brian, just forward me an email about St. Vincent, and then I'll forward that.
And we'll get an email out, we
Just
can
send
pick
it
a
to me.
Saturday or someday we're free. All right?
That-
I know you're not. All right, so, thank you. Flores. Lauren and Celia Van Hamilton Student Bus Company LLC, application for site plan approval and special use permit for the use and construction of a school bus yard and fueling facility for the buses and repurpose of existing residence into an office building situated on tax parcel, section 35, block 1, lot 20. Project located on the northern side of Lake Station Road, 800 feet east of Kings Highway, County Route 13, 19 Lake Station Road, in the OI zone of the town of Warwick. We're representing the applicant.
Frank Underwood, JS Engineer.
Comment number, you gentlemen have a copy of the comments?
Yes.
Comment number 1, planning board to discuss seeker.
This is an unlisted action under seeker. We have prepared a resolution for the board to declare lead agency to commence uncoordinated review. Additionally, we have prepared a draft EAF Part 2 in which the board may wish to adopt, addressing the following potential adverse impacts: potential impairment to the character or quality of the existing community. Applicants should address visual impact to surrounding neighborhoods. Potential adverse change in the existing level of traffic. Proposed action can result in substantial increase in traffic above present levels. Potential adverse impacts to natural resources. Applicants should address aquifer protection overlay, increases to impervious surfaces adjacent to wetlands, and potential for bog turtle and northern long-eared bat. Additionally, the application requires GML referral as it is within 500 feet of the town of Chester boundary. If any new outdoor lighting and proposed details and information as required in section 164-43.4 shall be provided. Per section 164-46G3N, a landscaping plan is required showing the information and details as stated in that section, including proposed changes to natural land features, proposed plant material, size and location, and a planting schedule. If any new signage is proposed, details are required in accordance with section 164-43.1, and if any structures or exterior alterations to existing structures are proposed, plans should be provided for our review.
I'll make a motion. Test. A resolution assuming lead agency, classifying unlisted action, and commencing uncoordinated review. Name of action, Student Bus Company. Whereas the Town of Warwick Planning Board is in receipt of an application for site plan approval and special use permit for a school bus yard and repurposed office building situated on a 3.6 acre parcel of land located at 19 Lake Station Road, Town of Warwick, Orange County, New York. And whereas a short environmental assessment form, SEAF Part 1, was received from the project sponsor dated December 11, 2024. And whereas after examining the SEAF, the Planning Board has identified no other involved agencies for the project. And now therefore be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby classifies the proposed action as an unlisted action and declares its intent to assume lead agency status for the uncoordinated seeker review of this action. And be it further resolved that the Planning Board adopts the short Part 2 EAF prepared by its planner identifying potential large impacts to community character, traffic, the aquifer, wetlands, bog turtle, and northern long-eared bats.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Number 2, applicant to discuss project.
This will be a transportation terminal. As there's an existing house for sale along Lake Station Road. In the field to the west of that, there will be constructed a parking lot. There will be parking lot for 30 short buses, 5 more regular sized buses. Then parking for the drivers, 32 parking spaces for the drivers. And then also at the existing house, that'll be converted into an office. And so there'll be parking for the office staff there behind the house. There'll be, of course, the associated landscaping in accordance with the town of Warwick requirements. And the stormwater which is required.
Yep.
Who are these buses going to be busing? Where?
Currently transport the Rochester and Florida school districts.
Not Warwick? And there's, okay, never mind.
Okay. Before we get through all of these comments, which I'm going to address for the record, we know that we have to do a site visit out here. We'll set up a site visit, get in touch with you before we get into it too deep. Just for the board, and the board knows this, the traffic, we will do a traffic study, all the wetlands, design standards. There's a litany of issues and potential issues for this. So I'm going to, if there's any comments you'd like to discuss this evening, I think the board needs to see this site before we even delve too far into it. We just did seeker tonight, so we will set a site visit and get out there. We'll do that by email along with the other one, and we'll get back to you, Brad, on that. But just so we know, we will go through a very in-depth review on this, as we do every project, and go from there, so.
Fuel storage is going to be above ground or underground?
That's an issue.
It's not going to be.
Fuel storage is not permitted in a transportation facility. It's for parking, storage of buses over there.
As I said, there's a lot of issues that have to be gone through, and we're on step 1 of many. So, absolutely. So, with that being said, we'll do comments 3 through 37 for the record. Let's get out there and take a look at it first before we could even move any further. All right? Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Laura?
Yes.
I think 23 can come out. 23.
Okay, moving along.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we have planning board, other considerations. Planning board minutes of 11/20/24 and 12/18/24 for planning board approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Number 2, planning board to discuss canceling the 1/27/25 work session and the 2/5/25 planning board meeting. Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Correspondence this evening. Connie, any correspondence? No correspondence. Privilege of the floor for agenda items. Anyone wishing to address the board on any agenda item this evening? Just come up, state your name for the record, please.
I'm sorry, what was your name? Speak up, sir.
Ron Donaton?
Yes.
I don't hear well
He
as
can't-
what
Yeah.
she's being gentle on me, but I don't.
over here.
There you go.
Ron Donaton. I live in Gateway Station, which is diagonally across from the location of the school bus garage. I understand what you guys were talking about, on what the board might do to evaluate. I just want to give a little bit of an insight, a background on myself. I lived there for 45 years, on that property. I've had, I worked for the town of Warwick. I retired. When I retired, I got into school transportation. I was a school bus driver instructor, 19 examiner. I ran
school bus yards over in Ossining. Trainer, I worked for Warwick School District, I work with guys in buses, so I have a pretty good insight on the history of the school system. I just want, one of the things that you consider is the air quality of all these buses running in. And in the mornings, if they're running cold mornings, that they get up and they warm those buses up before they pull them out. It's a standard procedure that they do, and I've experienced that. The air quality issue is something that you should consider also. I don't know if there's something that I'm telling you that you already know.
No, it's, listen, absolutely. It's,
There's no refueling at that, Bobby?
There will not be fuel.
There will not be fuel there, so are they coming in there full? Or
we have not, we can't answer these questions because
Understood.
we haven't got the
So,
information.
okay, no, that's fair.
Like I said, this is the first, we want to see, as a board, we want to see exactly what they're talking about before we can even, delve into it.
Traffic, depending on which way they put up, they're going over those tracks, you gotta make a stop, open the doors, turn off all your fans, open the window, and then pull out. If you got 5 or 6 buses doing that, each one doing that, and that traffic on that road, when I go across the street to get my mail, it's very rarely that I can go across that street without having a car. They're cutting my lawn over there, it takes me
Well, like,
forever to cut the lawn.
I mean, just for the start, we knew they would have to do a full traffic study. Like I said, we don't have answers to anything right now.
No, I'm
First
just
of all.
trying, some of the things you have to get to me,
He's just trying to help us.
Yeah,
If we have questions.
Actually, they should hire you.
the noise that comes out of those the diesel buses, what's the operational hours?
We don't know.
We don't, it's not public.
We don't know. We don't have
So
to.
if they're talking about like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and that those diesel fuels are blowing across, the wind's blowing the right way, I'm getting that in my window. So that's certainly something else to consider is the operational hours. If they're not refueling, it's kind of a great place to put a bus garage. Is there any way that I could follow up with this on this? I'm not familiar with these.
Absolutely. Listen, this is before the Town of Warwick Planning Board now. It'll be listed on our website. Our secretary, Connie, you can reach out to her. She can provide you
Well, you can send me an email.
email. She can get you whatever we
Do you
have.
I guess your email's on the website.
It is on the website.
Planning@townofwarwick.org.
And like I said, this is step one of, we don't know.
Email's the best.
There's a lot. We just have to go through it.
Sure.
Okay?
And if you're within
you would
300, when
update
they're
us on
ready
that?
for a
Am I
public,
privileged to that?
what?
You
You can stop at the
You
office.
can stop at the
and
office anytime, give Connie an email.
Fill out a FOIL request and
Whatever you need, or
shoot
the
me an
meetings are
email.
on, the meetings are on the website. so.
Okay. Yeah.
it's gonna be a while.
All right, good. So if I could, as the steps proceed,
Absolutely.
I could probably give you some more insight.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right now, it's just.
And even, and to be honest with you, as this process goes along, I mean, there will be public hearings. If you'd like, I mean, it sounds like you're very knowledgeable of this whole situation.
Yeah,
If you would like to
years
send an
of
email with your concerns,
your
with the
concerns.
knowledge that you have, saying this, this, and this, that'd probably be a very wise move.
Okay. I mean, I guess that those, depending on the weather and whatnot.
But listen, what you said makes sense, so I think,
You can email me
It
anytime
doesn't-
and
it
I'll
doesn't-
be in contact with you.
it doesn't have to be tomorrow, because this is gonna be a while, but
It's
if
gonna be a
your
while.
concerns, definitely get
When
them.
you say, wow, you have like
We
don't know.
we don't,
Parameter?
no,
2
we don't.
years, a year,
We don't
3
know,
months?
because it's up to the applicant. If they're gonna do a traffic study, if that takes them 6 months, we don't know. If they have to do this, that may take
It
them more.
takes a while.
So for them to do a traffic study, they do that on their own, or they do a request of the town?
No, we're gonna require them, they have to hire they're gonna have to hire a company, it has to be reviewed by our engineer, that it meets the requirements that we set forth.
Okay,
And like I said, we haven't even got there yet. This was step one.
understood.
This is just the meet and greet.
Yeah,
Great, so, as I meet you
yeah,
guys.
absolutely. This is just the start, so.
When could we look at those plans?
Although, as of right now, the plans they're draft. You know what I mean? As they get closer to the public hearing, that's probably when you would want to take a look at them.
You can email me
I mean, you
once
could
a
look at-
month
you could-
and I'll keep you
You
posted.
can look
if
at the ones
anything.
now,
Email's the best.
but I assume they're gonna change, because they had a fuel tank on there.
Yeah.
So that fuel tank isn't part of the plan anymore, because as our attorney pointed out, you can't have it. So that's what I mean, take it with a grain of salt right now,
Okay,
okay?
thank you all very much.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
meeting you.
Yes, you too.
And, we'll be in touch.
Take care.
Thanks.
Someone care to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried.